it is against their interest. So Periyar is raising a question mark. And when, especially the North India, the Hindi belt, we call it Gobar Patti. Some of people might understand it. They call it Hindi Patti, we call it Gobar Patti because it is none other than the Gai, Gobar, Gomutra, and they are happy with it only. So they cannot digest Periyar, who raised a very strong objection against the idea of Brahmanism in India. But yes, we have to give the North Indians the pills to digest Periyar. We'll give them the churan. Churan is a kind of powder which helps you to digest. So we'll give them churan, North Indian, that yes, you need to accept, you need to digest Periyar, because if you are willing to make this nation better, if you are willing to do really good for the society and the country, you have to respect his ideas. You have to respect the nation builder from the Bahujan community. Wonderful job of M.K. Stalin, who is the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu from DMK. He is one of the best guy. We are looking for that you guys should cross the border also. Please come to the North India. Please come and save us from this Govarpati people. He has the Dravidian model, and Dravidian model that we need to, learn from the Dravidian model, that how to build a society that is based on inclusion, that is based on justice, that is based on equality also. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabko hum aage badhayenge, sabko hum ye karayenge, but only there is a model, the Dravidian model, that which is making it reality. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his government should learn from Stalin also. On issue of reservation, the EWS and the NEET in medical exams and non-Brahmin priest he was appointing. These are some of the best things which he has done. When I look at his government from North India's perspective, and I see, okay, there is no one from North India who dare to do it. Only education, self-respect and rational qualities will uplift the downtrodden. Jai Bhim, Jai Periyar to everyone. These are the words of Thantai Periyar. And when I talk about Periyar, there are numbers of things which comes to my mind. But only one thing which is really very important to us is that they were trying to make a society where there is no injustice, where there is no sorrow, there is no inequality. So these guys were trying to make the society better. So Periyar for me is the nation maker. He was the builder of the nation, and he was doing really great job for the society. For us, the North Indian one is really difficult to digest Periyar, because as our honorable member of parliament was talking about, the projection of Periyar, the agenda and the propaganda by the so-called fundamentalist people of the India, that Periyar and his legacy is the anti-Hindi movement. They are against Hindi, they are against the nationalism, they are against the patriotism. So that kind of agenda is already there, which is coming to your WhatsApp, your Facebook post, your Twitter, everywhere, which is coming to every day-to-day life in India. But it is not the same. It is not exactly what it means. They are afraid of Periyar actually, because when Periyar raises question mark to the very fundamental of the society, and everything what is happening is not good. It is suffocating to the downtrodden people. It is against their interest. So Periyar is raising a question mark. And when, especially the North India, the Hindi belt, we call it Gobar Patti. Some of people might understand it. They call it Hindi Patti, we call it Gobar Patti because it is none other than the Gai, Gobar, Gomutra, and they are happy with it only. So they cannot digest Periyar, who raised a very strong objection against the idea of Brahmanism in India. But yes, we have to give the North Indians the pills to digest Periyar. We'll give them the churan. Churan is a kind of powder which helps you to digest. So we'll give them churan, North Indian, that yes, you need to accept, you need to digest Periyar, because if you are willing to make this nation better, if you are willing to do really good for the society and the country, you have to respect his ideas. You have to respect the nation builder from the Bahujan community, because these are the people who are really doing good for the society. I would really appreciate the the Student Federation of Dravidian, because this is really very close to my heart. It reminded me my days when I was looking for admission Delhi University way back to more than 15 years. I was feeling like homeless. I was looking for somebody to help me. I was looking for somebody who can talk about the same culture, same values, same ideas, the same sorrow and pain which a student who's from the same kind of experience is going through. So recently, there was a very brutal incident in JNU, and people were from Tamil community. They were brutally attacked. And when Ilaiah was sharing the pictures and videos to me on WhatsApp, it was very gruesome and it was very disheartening that our people are being targeted like this. So they are not only targeting you physically, but they are also trying to attack on your idea, on your ideology, and they are afraid of that ideology particularly. But it was really great to see that honorable member of parliament from DMK and the leadership of DMK was very, coming forward to support these students from the community. They went to the JNU campus, they installed the portrait of Periyar again, and they openly supported the students from the community. It was a blessing. It was really great to see that yes, we are not going to tolerate it. We are not going to, just tolerate what you guys are doing to our people. We'll fight back, and this was a great way to fight back. So Student Federation of Darwin people would be a home to the community people, anybody from the same background, same stories, same exclusion. They can come together, they can talk about, they can share ideas, they can exchange different kind of things happening around to them, because it's a home and you feel safe when you are at home. When I was in Delhi University, I was just mentioning that I was looking for some kind of student organization. I tried to adjust myself in some left organization, some liberal or some progressive organization, and we know how these guys are working. They deny the very basic idea of caste, and they just talk about the class struggle only. They have nothing to do with caste. But right now they cannot survive because of the strength the Ambedkarite, the Bahujan, Periyarist people are coming out. So they have to accept that, okay, we'll say Lal Salam, Jai Bhim, Periyar, Hul Johar. This is the inclusion, this is the power which we have brought, our community people have brought. So they have to accept it ultimately. But yes, it would be really nice if such organizations are coming to the campuses, and this will give power to our community people only. For me, if I talk about Periyar, there are numbers of aspects from his life which has to be discussed. So he was a great leader, was a great reformer, educationist, women rights champion, Dalit rights champion, and he was a true man who we can say that father of nation. Yes, he is the father of nation, like Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. He was a great guy. But for me, being a journalist, I belong to a community from Dalit background, and I'm into community journalism. When I look at the Periyar's legacy of journalism also, so I find a lot of inspiration from his roots, his works, his life as a journalist also. I've just mentioned some of the contribution in field of journalism. Periyar's contribution to the field of journalism is really very significant. He was associated with newspapers and magazines titled Kudiya Rasu, Dravidian Revolt, Purathi, Pagutharavi, Vidutalai, Justice, Unmai, and the Modern Rationalist. And numbers of magazines, newspapers, periodicals were published by him. He spent a lot of his money. He was jailed because of his editorial many times, but he was always coming out with a different idea. He was trying to establish the Bahujan media. We call it Bahujan media nowadays, the downtrodden media. And we need the media like which our forefather like Periyar, Ambedkar, Jyotiba Phule, Manevar Kashiram Sahib, they were trying to build. Because the media which Meena was talking about is the totally casteist media. We have to die to be in their headlines. We have to be raped to be in their headlines. We have to be murdered, massacred. Our house has to be burned if we want to be in their headlines. Unless and until we are murdered, we are raped, we are killed, or we are brutalized in different ways, we are nowhere in the media. So we have to build our own own community-based media, and I find my inspiration from Periyar, Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar, Jyotiba Phule, Manevar Kashiram Sahib, because there is a legacy of Ambedkar journalism, and my people were doing really very hard to make this nation better. Now, when I talk about these wonderful, works, the resolution of Periyar, and I must congratulate Kelvi and Ilaiah Kumar for a wonderful translation you guys have done. And this, the non-Brahmin manifesto. Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar once said that, in his, in the book Annihilation of Caste, he said that when a progressive Brahmin is doing something, trying to show himself that he's a progressive, and when an orthodox Brahmin is doing something anti-people, they both are same. They are the same hand of a same body, because whatever something happens to a one hand, the another hand comes to save it and rub it, because people are working for their interest only. So now we need to make the difference that when we are talking about the social justice, we are trying to build a better society, we have to make very clear strategy that this is the non-Brahmin manifesto. You cannot keep yourself as a devotee of any Mahatma, any devotee of any Dharam Guru or the religious guru and chanting Bhagavad Gita and Ramcharitmanas and simultaneously saying that, okay, we are going to make the social justice, we are going to talk about the Bahujan community or the marginalized section. You have to be very clear that yes, this is the difference between the oppressors and the victim communities, and we need to make it very clear. And this is the the non-Brahmin manifesto is one of the very historical document. You just have a look at. I was just reading out. This is wonderful job. Our people were doing it. And they have clearly stated this, yes, we have to fight back. We have to make it very clear that we cannot just, talk in the sky or talk about the fuss created by the upper caste people only, but we'll have to make it very clear that we are going to fight back. I would just appreciate, I'll just take 1 minute more. And this, the non-Brahmin manifesto, just have a look. This was talking about the, Brahmin dominance in public services, in public bodies, and it is really important today also, because if you look at the different spectrum of life and these services, these are the totally controlled and dominated by the upper caste people. Still we have to fight for our representation in judiciary, in media, in bureaucracy, in every spectrum of the public services. We have to fight for our representation. So this is the very relevant document which these people have brought out. So I really appreciate. I must use this platform to appreciate the wonderful job of M.K. Stalin, who is the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu from DMK. He is one of the best guy. We are looking for that you guys should cross the border also. Please come to the North India. Please come and save us from this Govarpati people. He has the Dravidian model, and Dravidian model that we need to, learn from the Dravidian model, that how to build a society that is based on inclusion, that is based on justice, that is based on equality also. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabko hum aage badhayenge, sabko hum ye karayenge, but only there is a model, the Dravidian model, that which is, making it reality. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his government should learn from Stalin also. And he is also, I just need 1 minute only. Yeah, thank you. Because I just don't want to miss the time. On issue of reservation, the EWS and the NEET in medical exams and non-Brahmin priest he was appointing. These are some of the best things which he has done. When I look at his government from North India's perspective, and I see, okay, there is no one from North India who dare to do it. Who opposes the EWS reservation, who opposes the NEET, the dominance of these caste in NEET, and who can talk about the non-Brahmin priest in the Hindu religion. So nobody is there in North India, although they are trying to appease the Brahmin people also, upper caste people also, and just diverting themselves from the agenda of Bahujan and the social justice. So we look at very hopefully to the Stalin and his government, that you guys should also come, cross the border, come to New Delhi and save us, because this is the time to save the democracy. If somebody is challenging the Constitution of India and the democracy of India, we have a Dravidian model, we have great people, and we have a legacy of Periyar and his people, those who are in the line to save the democracy and to do really good for the society. And it's not only about the ideas, it is about the reality. Look at the Dravidian model. Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you. Appreciate Jai Bhim, Jai Periyar.